Hey everyone, Nathan Rich here again. I know a lot of you were waiting to see if I did a video about the election, and I'm sorry, this video is not about the election. There's something that I want to talk to you guys about that I haven't spoken about yet, I haven't told anybody about yet, only my close friends, and I just feel like I owe it to you guys to kind of give a little bit of explanation about why I've been pretty distracted recently. I guess it all started about 15 years ago when I got into computers professionally. I gained some weight. I got a little chubby, as I'm sure you've noticed. And my lifestyle was very sedentary, working on the computer a lot. More recently, I decided that I was going to turn that around, and I started exercising. When I was exercising, I had a pain in my knee, so I first thought that that pain was just related to working out after not having worked out for so long. At that time, I was doing a lot of running and weights and that kind of stuff. And the pain wasn't going away. So I went to a doctor to get an x-ray. What he found was much more serious than anything with a knee. And so I've been struggling with this for a while myself. I am spending many days, all day long, at various hospitals, and I figured I would just let you guys know what's happening because I do believe in being honest and just being forthcoming with what's happening in my life. I went in and I got an x-ray, and the doctor said, "Forget about your knee, what's this?" And at first he thought that there was an issue with the x-ray, maybe that my pants had distorted it, something in the material or something like that. So he had me try again just in my underwear. And after that x-ray, he said, "Okay, we need to schedule you for an MRI and a CT because something's wrong." So he found a tumor in my leg that is over 5 centimeters long. That doctor, who's a bone specialist, said that it's something called enchondroma, which is a benign tumor. But he said that it was large enough that it will soon or eventually break through my bone and actually cause my femur bone to break while I was walking. And he told me that I had about 2 months to do a surgery. And the surgery would be that they cut a hole in my bone, take out the tumor, excise some more of the bone marrow and bone tissue, and then put a metal plate and screw it back on. And he said I wouldn't be able to walk for a little bit of time. It would take about 3 months until I could sort of walk normally, and the whole process would take about a year to heal, and that the worry would be maybe the tumor would come back. But he also said that he's not the one who's going to do the surgery because that particular hospital doesn't have a blood bank, and he said that this surgery, normally you have a blood bank. So he referred me to his prior team, who are also bone specialists, and I met with another doctor, and that doctor was a bone tumor specialist from another hospital. So this is the second hospital, the second doctor. This one is more specifically a bone tumor specialist. And that doctor told me it's not enchondroma, it's something else called chondrosarcoma. Chondrosarcoma is cancer. Now, enchondroma and chondrosarcoma, apparently, I'm not a doctor, I don't really know this stuff, but apparently they look very similar in the scans, and it's very difficult to tell the difference between the two. The difference between the two at this stage isn't as important because either way it's still going to break through my bone and cause me to be in severe pain with a broken femur bone as I'm walking one day. So the second doctor said that I definitely need to do that surgery, but he said I may not need to use the plate. He explained that the plate was really just to help the first year of healing, and that after that year, your leg would be the same with or without the plate. And the plate has some risks. It has risk of infection, risk of mechanical issues, and other horrible things. So I decided that I probably wouldn't do the plate because I don't really play sports and I can move around pretty slowly. I'm not really at risk of injuring my leg, I thought. But then I started to think maybe I should get another opinion. So I went to a third doctor. This third doctor is at another hospital. So this is the third hospital. And this doctor is a bone specialist, but not a bone tumor specialist. This doctor didn't really pay much attention to me at all, was on the phone half the time, and I didn't really feel comfortable that this doctor really understood the situation. He said that it's not enchondroma and it's not chondrosarcoma, but it's a fibroma, which is another type of tumor, I guess, but it's not as bad as either of those two, I guess. It's not cancer. But he said, it's not going to grow through your leg. It's not going to break your leg. In fact, just come back in 3 months. You don't have to do anything, and we'll just watch to see if it's still growing or what's going on with it. So I was not really satisfied with that visit because I felt, again, like he didn't really pay any attention to me. I couldn't tell if he was even really looking at my scans or what. So I went to a fourth doctor, and the fourth doctor is a surgeon, bone tumor expert, and he said, no, it's not a fibroma, it's enchondroma. But unlike the first doctor who also said it's enchondroma, the fourth doctor said it's enchondroma, but it's not going to go through your bone. You don't have to worry about it. And he literally said, just come back in a year to check on it. So I'm pretty frustrated. I'm pretty at a loss for what to do. He did recommend that I get something called a bone scan, which is a very creepy and kind of scary check. I mean, it wasn't painful, but it's kind of gross. They inject you with radioactive particles, and then they put you in a tube, kind of like an MRI, but actually even a tighter fit than that. And this thing comes down into your face, and you can't move, and it's kind of not a fun experience. But it was painless, so I did that today. So right now, I have radioactive particles in my blood. So that's always a fun thought. Apparently, it's only a little more than a year's worth of your normal radiation. And I guess in medical terms, that's not a lot. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not used to this kind of stuff. And it's all, I don't want to say scary, but it's very unnerving. So the results of the bone scan will be available tomorrow. The bone scan is to check and see if this tumor, which this guy is saying is benign, is in fact not only malignant, but has also metastasized to other parts of my body, or if I have other tumors in other parts of my skeleton. So this has been going on for quite a while now. I've been in and out of doctors. I've been getting checks, an MRI, CT, bone scan, consultation, second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion, multiple different hospitals. I do want to tell everybody that as far as finances go, I'm totally fine. I have a very good insurance. I have plenty of money for myself. My personal life, I've never been short of money for many years. So this video is not about that. This video is just to let you guys know that my mind is elsewhere currently. And so making videos is just a hobby for me. I am still very passionate about it. I still work on videos every single day, including right before filming this. And right after filming this, I'll be editing this. So I still work on videos. I'm still working on Epic China. I have a lot more stuff coming up. I have just finished another video, and I am almost done finishing 3 more videos. And something just didn't feel right about me going through all of this and nobody knows about it. It just feels like I'm hiding something from you, but I just want you to know that that's what's happening in my life. So if you are a bone specialist or a bone tumor specialist or somebody who's familiar with this type of thing and you want to give me unofficial 5th, 6th, 7th opinion, I will put up some pictures of my various scans on this video. Feel free to do so. I won't sue you or hold you liable for anything that you say, but you do need to prove to me that you are a doctor somehow. I will consult with another doctor, so this will be my 5th opinion. I think the hardest part about this is being told that you have cancer and then being told that you don't have cancer, you don't even really have any serious tumor, you're fine, and then being told again, no, you do have a sort of precancerous tumor that might turn into cancer, we're not sure, but you're probably fine, so just go home and come back a year later, while another doctor is telling me that I need a surgery within 2 months or one of my legs is gonna break. It's very, very unnerving, to be honest with you. When COVID hit China, a lot of people that I know left, but I stayed here. I didn't abandon China. And I know that China's not going to abandon me when I need some help. So hopefully everything can get a little better for me health-wise, because my mother died of cancer and my grandfather died of a heart attack. So I always assumed that I would die of one of those 2 things. But I didn't think that I would be dying anytime soon. Now, this particular kind of cancer, if it is the cancer that the second doctor said, chondrosarcoma, he did say that he thought it was stage 1, which means that, according to the internet, that would introduce approximately a 10% chance to die in the next 5 years. Pretty scary if that's the case. And then you also have all the possible complications from surgery, from anesthesia, from potentially having a metal thing in my leg. You read stories online about people who do this surgery, which, by the way, is called limb salvage surgery, because I guess in the 1970s and before, they would just cut your limb off, amputate it. But now they have these options. I have read stories of people who tried to do this surgery and the surgeons discovered that the tumor had been entwined with nerves and other important stuff in people's limbs, and so then they just amputated that limb, of course, without waking up the patient, because they had to make a choice. Now, there's nothing to indicate that that will happen in my case, but you know, I'm a human. I'm looking up the worst case scenarios in these things, and it's pretty scary. And believe it or not, chondrosarcoma is not even the worst possible thing that this could be. Statistically speaking, what I'm about to say is very, very unlikely, but there's also a possibility that I have one of 2 diseases, which I can't remember the name of, so I'll put it in after I edit this video. But these 2 diseases, if I understand them correctly, they basically create these cancerous and precancerous tumors all throughout your body. So even if you get rid of them, they just come back and back, and you know, you probably don't have much time left. Now, I know this video is very rambling and incoherent because I'm just talking to you guys, but so it doesn't seem very likely that it's fibroma. If it's enchondroma, there's still a chance that it will come back after they do a surgery. If it comes back, then they will cut off a portion of my bone entirely and replace it with a prosthetic bone. My understanding of the significance of the difference between enchondroma and chondrosarcoma for me now, if I only have one of these tumors, my understanding is the big difference is the chance that it will come back. And of course, later on, if it was chondrosarcoma and it came back and I didn't handle it, then it could spread. And this particular cancer metastasizes often to the lungs. And so I believe worst case scenario for that would be I bizarrely die of lung cancer, even though it started in my leg. So I haven't really been focused very much on the election, to be honest with you. I'm filming this the night that all the votes are kind of just on hold, and we haven't yet even found out who got the most electoral votes. Unlike a lot of people who were at work or watching the election, I was trying to watch the election from my phone because I was at the hospital all day long, and I was at the hospital all day yesterday and days before that, many days. I am going to very good hospitals. I do want you to know that there's no pain associated with this other than my initial pain and sort of soreness about the knee area, which may be related. Yeah, I am still working on videos. I have taken some time off of work I have taken time off of my Chinese classes, and the one thing I haven't taken time off of is making these videos, because there's just so much more I'd like to say to you guys. So this video is not for any purpose other than just to tell you what's going on with me so you understand what I've been dealing with for some time now. There was a time that I was sure that I had cancer, and now I'm unsure, and in some ways that's actually worse, because now I have everything between hurry up and get a surgery within 2 months to, oh, don't worry about it, there's nothing wrong, come back in a year, and everything from, oh, it's just fibroma, no big deal, you probably had it your whole life, who cares, to you have cancer and this is a serious issue that actually might kill you soon. So that's just an update. I will be doing another video soon where I take a look at some of the supporter questions and comments to me, and maybe go through just some other common questions like how I got my nickname and that kind of stuff. So yeah, the bad news for me really has nothing to do with the election. It's more about my health. At this point, even if a doctor told me, because I've had so many different opinions, even if a doctor told me, oh, don't worry about it, you wait 2 years and check again, I don't even know how I would do that. I would be so nervous because these other doctors said it might be a big deal. Thanks everybody for listening to me, and I hope that you guys can understand that I'm trying to keep everything going at the same time, but my mind has definitely gone a bit dark recently as I've been sort of forced to research all this stuff, not so much about China, but about cancer and my future. So I just wanted to tell you guys that. Sorry I didn't do a video about the election. I'm just not focused on it, to be honest with you. So it's been a little bit rough for me recently. I will pull through, I'm sure. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. Hopefully this won't be the thing that ends me. Seems kind of dumb somehow to live through all this and then to die from a tumor in my leg at a very young age. But probability and statistics say that's not going to happen. I'm sure you can understand how I feel though when I'm very unnerved, very confused about what's happening. I'm dealing with something that I'm not an expert in. I'm not proficient in the workings of these biological bodies. If there's anything major that happens, I will try to let you guys know. Normally, I just keep this kind of stuff to myself, but it just didn't feel right to keep making videos and have this in the back of my head. So I will keep you posted, and thanks everybody. Appreciate it.